Hello YouTube. Today I'll be changing the transmission fluid out on a 2005 Dodge Ram 1500 Hemi. The transmission is a 545 RFE, so basically any vehicle that runs that, Dodge Ram, Dodge Durango, Chrysler Aspen, CRD, Jeep Liberties, probably also would be found in Jeep Grand Cherokees. Anything running this transmission should be same or similar. I did the Aspen just a couple weekends ago. Today I'm actually working on this for a friend. Her son had changed the fluid out, and I think I know he kind of messed some things up, so I had to take it apart and take a look at it here. So just to cover the draining of it, imagine the transmission pan here is installed in the vehicle, and then you have an oil drain pan underneath. You want to have a really large one to be able to capture the fluid as it leaks out. Also, as you can see, I don't know if you can hear the wind, but here's kind of a mess. The wind just blew the fluid everywhere and kind of ruined my driveway, so it hasn't been a good day so far. But just to go over how to drain it, what I usually do is I'll put the drain pan, have it set back a little bit directly underneath here. I'll begin by loosening all the bolts, not much, just enough to break them loose, quarter turn, half turn. This would be the back of the vehicle, this would be the front of the vehicle. From here, start taking out, like I take these two bolts out, then I take these two bolts out, then I'll take these bolts out. At this point, if it has just a regular gasket, it'll start to weep fluid out. And so just kind of watch what's going on and move the pan around accordingly, because it'll weep out and it'll just start dripping. If you have it on an incline, the more of an incline, the further back they'll go before they drip. From there, what you'll do is you'll start loosening this, take this bolt like halfway out, and you'll see the pan just start to drop down a little bit. Take this bolt out and it'll drop a little bit more. From there, you turn these out a couple turns, and then the pan is basically just being held up. It'll be kind of held up like this, and the more you loosen these bolts, the more it'll drop the pan down. The more it drops the pan down, the more fluid drops out. Eventually it'll get to the point where you could just, with one hand, hold the pan up, with the other hand, pull all the bolts out, and then just tip the pan to dump it in the oil drain pan and come out with it. So here you see it's pretty clean. Chrysler put a like a non-stick paint on these things. It works pretty well as far as like keeping the filings and stuff, be able to easily wipe out. I found that if you spray it with brake clean, it'll actually make the paint a little tacky. So just be aware of that. What I would do is I would use the brake clean to kind of get the shavings and stuff out and off of there. Let it sit for a second while the brake clean dries off, and then just wipe it out to clean it up. Then of course we have our magnet right here. This one's clean. I found a pretty good amount of shavings on this one. Also, I'm pretty sure they didn't clean the pan last time they did the fluid exchange, because there was like big deposits of filings and stuff all around here, which is really weird. This truck right here has 80,000 miles on it. Evidence of a ton of wear. This guy right here has 100,000 miles on it. Transmission pan was totally clean. This had just a little teeny amount of shavings on it, and the filters looked great. Everything was great. So assuming you're following along, you've dropped your pan, you've cleaned it off and everything like that, let's go ahead and take a look at the filters here. So going underneath, you're going to have two filters. One of them right now is installed, the other one I've pulled off. So the one that's installed, this is your cooler filter right here. It resembles an oil filter, basically goes on and off the same way. When you're working with this, just make sure that you do good twists. You don't put any side load on it, because the threads at the end of this filter are actually plastic. Last thing you want to do is break that off in there. Bad day, really bad day. Second thing, just like the old transmissions, there's a flat filter, like it kind of looks like a Brillo pad, to be honest with you, inside there, but just like an old school filter that goes up against here. There's one retaining bolt here, and then it's held in the transmission up on the side here. I'm not sure if you can see, yeah, this hole right here, it plugs in there. Now this is where my buddy messed up. Here's the filter that I took off. I know my yard looks like a mess. There's a lot of stuff going on Memorial Day weekend here. So this right here, you can kind of see how it's a little warped and twisted. It's no longer flat.